Good people. It's Wednesday, 8:30-ish. A little bit of technical difficulties, but we worked out. We smooth. We in the building. We ready to go. We ready to rock. So yeah, this is your boy Cool McCain, part of the crew, Eagles Elite podcast. Y'all know what happened last week. So since you know what happened last week, y'all know what's coming this week. We're breaking down a draft. We basically taking everything draft related and we giving it to the people. You know what I'm saying? So undrafted free agents, pick swaps, our signings and our thoughts on the undrafted free agents, and the picks that we made. So, hey, man, ain't too much more to say than that, except for fly, Eagles, fly. And, we got to get back to the roots because sometimes you get so caught up in everything else, you forget the basics. And one of the true basis of this show from day one is no one likes us and we don't care. We're getting it back. A lot of people hating on what we did in the draft. I got a couple of questions myself, but hey, we're going to talk about it. So in we go. My man Wyatt in the building with me. What up, Wyatt?
What's going on, man? What's going on, Bird Gang Nation? I'm ready to talk about the draft. A lot of exciting stuff happening within the organization right now. I'm ready to get into it, man.
True that. So Benny starts off by saying how we nailed the draft. So Benny, we're going to talk about that for sure. So we're going to get into that. But first, Wyatt, I know every once in a while you like to slide in a little extra news on us. So anything you want to throw out there before we get into the draft picks and all the things surrounding the draft?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest news before the draft, I think it was like the day before or a couple hours before the draft, was the extension of AJ Brown. There's been a lot of speculation, hearsay, during the season and the off season about, there's a rift between AJ Brown and the organization. Nah, that's not the case. We locked him down for another 3 years, 96 million, 84 mil guaranteed. Dude's going to be here for quite some time. We locked down Jalen Hurts, Smitty, and we got AJ Brown. Got Saquon for a couple years. I think we still got another couple years with Dallas Goedert still. They're locked down this core of this offense.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that we were going to trade him, right? Or that he didn't want to be there. All this stuff that people were saying. So if you're not happy with the player, why do you sign him to a 3-year extension? The man got on the radio and said, this is BS. This is not true. Still didn't stop anything. New England called like, hey, y'all want to make a trade for AJ Brown? And the Eagles wisely was like, nah, bro. Nah. The way y'all cheat, we definitely not get AJ Brown. You cheating sales. So he's back in the building as he said he would be. He also said he wants to retire an Eagle.
Yes,
so
sir.
All the people, especially the Philadelphia media, because I blame y'all more than anybody else. You look stupid right now with all that hogwash. But I get it. You're not worried about the true outcome because all you wanted was clickbait. You got that. So it is what it is.
Yep.
I got what y'all wanted. Y'all got clickbait for a bogus story that pretty much y'all made up because you didn't have nobody in the organization saying this stuff. You even had Devontae Smith at his press conference talking about just like his big brother.
Mm-hmm. And you even had Jalen Hurts show up to AJ's press conference and everything, too. Jalen was there for support, too.
Why would his best friend not show up? This man playing with his best friend. Y'all forget all this stuff, and y'all just want to talk about because he's a emotional and fiery person on the sideline, there's a problem.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? It's not going to stop y'all. Y'all will find somebody else to be doing the same thing with it. But it's okay. Because true story, 1,000%. AJ is with the Eagles. He's got 3 more years on his contract. Devontae just signed his contract. He's got 4 more years after this year. But remember, this is his 4th year. Then the 5th year option. Then his 3-year deal kicks in. So, hey, the Eagles are doing what they need to do and locking up the correct players. Great one, Wyatt. Great one, Wyatt. I was expecting you to slide that one out there. Any other news?
No, I was just going to say before, it just brings a sense of stability to this organization and this offense we haven't seen for quite some time. I mean, it seems like there's been just constant turnover every couple of years. It looks like we're actually going to have some stability for years to come here. But yeah, I mean, the other news I had was just not really team related, but a former player of ours now. It's it's terrible to say former player at this point. But Jason Kelce is signing a deal with ESPN to be part of like the Monday Night Football crew, which I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, you saw how great he is on the podcast and everything. He's a knowledgeable dude, very personable. He loves talking about football. So I can't wait to see, him out there kind of repping Philly a little bit on the Monday Night Football crew.
Yep. Got another comment here. Philly in the building. Philly. Good evening. Great draft picks from Philly. What up, Philly? So yeah, man. The first thing want to do here before we get into the picks, we splitting them up a little bit. We chopping them up here. First, shout out to 503 Angel Radio. But we're gonna go ahead and drop a few commercials. Take a quick break here. We're gonna come back, and then we're gonna start talking about the draft picks themselves, what we started with, what we ended with. We're not gonna try to take you through everything that happened. We're just gonna do what we started with, how many we had, and what we ended with. All right, guys. So let's get into it.
Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text delete.
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. Rams fans all around the world.
It's a beautiful thing to be a Rams fan right now. Stafford's back. We're going to see about Cup. And running back Kyren Williams to return.
Lend me your ears, or should I say lend Playmaker your ears, as he breaks down week by week everything in the Los Angeles Rams canon.
Number 99, Aaron Donald. Can't wait for 2029 to come to know that you are going in the Hall of Fame, and it should be first ballot, no questions asked.
Join the Playmaker as he breaks down everything Los Angeles Rams style in Ramily Talk on the Playmakers Blog Network YouTube channel and where you can find podcasts. Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kermit the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on YouTube and where you can find podcasts.
All right, good people. We're back from our first commercial break. So it's time to dig into the actual picks. So what's crazy is at some point we did have 22 picks in total in the draft.
Jeez.
Right? So instead of going over all the details, because you can find all that stuff, what we're going to do is this. All the picks that we had was this. So we started with picks 22, pick 50, pick 53, pick 120, pick 161, pick 171, pick 172, and pick 210. What we finished with was pick 22, pick 40, pick 94, pick 127, pick 152, pick 155, pick 172, pick 185, and pick 190. And then at some point in the draft, we also had picks 78, 86, 98, 123, 132, 164, and 201. Now, we had 8 trades involving 19 picks. We had 22 picks in our possession between the start and the end of the draft. So you might ask, why are you taking time to talk about how many picks we had? That's a good question. And the answer to that is to show you how much Howard Roseman, or Howie as he likes to be called, really worked those picks and really looked at specific people that he was targeting and how to get them and how to move things around, how to get more picks. He talked about in the press conference after the draft that what he was looking at was also trying to get some picks for next year, because we also grabbed a few picks for next year in some of these trades. I'm always looking forward. So a lot of things happened within this draft, and it was very smart by him to make some of the moves he made. I don't have a specific issue with any particular pick, but I have one I'm just questioning why we didn't go a different way at that specific pick with a player that I would have liked for us to get, but things happened. But I think we did have overall a solid draft, for how we're in the squad. So what do you think about the draft picks and all the movement we had?
Yeah, I think it was a great draft overall. Like you said, I do believe there's around just one pick in there, and it's somewhat early. I was a little questionable on. We'll touch on that a little bit though. But like myself, I watched the first round. Through the next couple of days, I was definitely checking up on it because I knew what kind of picks we had, and I was just like everybody else on Twitter, getting frustrated because every time I would check, it'd be like, "Oh, Eagles are up to pick." 30 seconds later, we traded it back for 2 more picks or whatever. And it was like, it just kept happening over and over. I was getting frustrated. But when we were getting these picks, like you said, we were hitting. It seems like Howie was actually going out there picking the best guy available. He wasn't trying to make any sleeper picks. He did kind of reach on the one, like I mentioned, but we're going to get into that a little bit. But overall, I think it's a solid draft. Everybody's marking it up as one of the top drafts, teams in the draft this year. There are some haters, of course, for some odd reasons, which don't really need to hit on. I mean, of course, anybody that follows Twitter, Eagles Twitter, knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, I'm overall very happy with the state of the draft at this point.
Fair enough. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to introduce somebody. Not a guest on the show. This dude is part of the show at this point. My man, King DV, what up, man?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on,
What's
Wyatt?
going on, man?
What's going on, man? I was just listening to some of what Wyatt was saying when I got in here, and man, everybody was frustrated with the trade backs. Nobody knew what Howie was trying to do. But now, like, when you think about it, you slept on it, it does make some sense, especially with the, the tampering thing that's supposed to happen. Now you just shored up some more picks for the next season. So it does make sense of what he was trying to do, or what he was doing. So yeah, I'm all excited for it at the end of the day.
Hey, I feel it, man. I feel it. All right, we got Rod in the building. Rod Uncensored in the building. What up, Rod? Appreciate you dropping by. Tell Miss Uncensored, the Eagles fan and the fan, that we said what up. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully she watching with you. But if she is, just tell her if she want to go ahead and hop on her YouTube and hop on too. We would appreciate that as well. You know what I mean? But fellas, so yeah, we was just talking about the different draft picks. We just went through how many picks we started with, what we ended with, and all the other ones that we had in the middle. So yeah, man, just sliding through there real quick to get the people a little update on that. So hey, man, it's time to get into it. Oh, go ahead, sir.
Okay. No, I just wanted to know where y'all are at.
Yeah, we about to hit on these draft picks here. So we go through the first couple of rounds, throw a couple of commercials, come back, do the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? Mellow it out. But ladies and gentlemen watching, we're going to start, of course, with the first round pick. So our first round pick 22, we took Quinyon Mitchell, the cornerback out of Toledo. So all I'm going to say about him is this is a guy that Alabama was after. But he wouldn't go to Alabama. He wanted to stay at Toledo and play with his guys. He's a guy that, from everything I've looked at, researched, read, heard about this guy, he pretty much is a complete of a corner you're going to get coming out of college. And I will say this, if Philadelphia Eagles, with our history of drafting, people at certain positions, corner being one of them, if we're going to draft somebody at corner, I'm going to want it to be somebody who's already got their basics in place. And I feel like this is that guy. So this pick right here, I didn't expect him to be available. I know how we in the squad, the brain trust, didn't expect him to be available. But when I saw him available, I was like, yeah, we about to jump on that. So DVU, I guess, man, sort of. So what's your thoughts, bro?
It was crazy looking at the draft because I already knew quarterbacks was going to go high, but then I knew that certain teams that were in those spaces, that like the Jets or so forth, they needed to protect their quarterback. They needed O-lineman. So I felt like, okay, if we don't go O-lineman, we're definitely going to go cornerback here. But I didn't know who we were going to go after. Now I'm like, okay, are we going to trade up? The anticipation just kept coming, and I'm like, okay, we at pick what? The Jaguars pick. I think that was 20. We had pick 20, and I'm like, all right, they're about to get Quinyon Mitchell because he's still on the board. But I'm like, maybe we should move ahead of them. Well, no, it was right before the Jaguars pick, and I thought that we was gonna move ahead of them to try to snatch him, but we didn't even have to. We didn't even have to. I think they traded out of that pick, and then we ended up getting Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell is in a good position right now because he also wanted to study behind Darius Slay. Quinyon Mitchell was basically, if I think so, he's the best cornerback in the draft to me. A lot of people would say Terrion Arnold, but Quinyon Mitchell was the most perfect fit for Vic Fangio's scheme, and I think that he's going to get the opportunity of a lifetime. I think they're going to like him over like a Kelly Ringo, Eli Ricks. If and when we do decide what we're going to do with Trashberry.
Yeah, I think it was a fantastic pick, though. Just like much of the rest of the draft, and the reason we were. Oh, go ahead. Cool. My bad.
You good?
I got
so in the building. It was good. Drinking hand, and he on one tonight. I ain't mad at you. It's a good night to be on one. Go ahead. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a fantastic pick. I mean, just like somewhat of the rest of the draft, it seemed like the draft was just kind of falling into Howie and team's plans. That's why we were moving around so much, because they knew the guys that they were looking at were going to eventually fall to them at that point. I can't believe one of the top corners fell that late, but like Dee said, you had all these QBs going, some offensive linemen that were up there. This is a fantastic pick. I mean, there was a lot of question about some of the competition he faced, but what was it, the Senior Bowl? He was going up against, Marvin Harrison and top wide receivers in the game, and he was locking them down. So, I mean, I think behind Slay, he's going to learn a lot, and I think he's going to have a huge opportunity in this defense to actually shine.
Well, I think he's going to learn a lot from Slay, but I don't think he's going to learn it behind Slay. I think he's going to learn it across from Slay.
Yeah.
Because I think by the time we get through with training camp, the top two corners on this team is going to be Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell. Isaiah Rodgers, I think, will be Slay backup. I think Ringo probably will be the one on the other side. If they decide to take the next pick and maybe pay him at his secondary position. I didn't want to ruin anything. Everybody know, but a little spit in case somebody was hiding under a rock, or was on one and didn't watch the draft. I ain't been watching the news.
He just said that on my show.
Yo. On one says trade Trashberry and no gain for a collect call from Helen Keller and Stephen Hawkins translating Arabic poetry.
Yo,
I don't even think you can get that much out of those dudes.
He said that on my show.
Maybe
funny.
2 smokes.
He added some
maybe
stuff.
Maybe half a pack of Newports and a waffle. That's about the most we might be able to get.
And a waffle, you said.
Old man Mob in the building as well. What up, old man Mob? Appreciate you tuning in, bro. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's mad crazy. But also, It's gonna be a shakeup. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a shakeup. So we'll hit the second pick. So the second pick, round 2, pick 40, we picked Cooper DeJean, also a cornerback from the University of Iowa. So DV, will go to you first on this one. Your thoughts on the Cooper DeJean pick in round 2?
The reaction was probably like majority of Eagles fans. Or it was like basically why? Why get him if you already got Quinyon Mitchell? It's a need at linebacker that we need. I'm thinking we're moving up to get Edgerrin Cooper. That was the goal. I thought it was going to be Edgerrin Cooper. And then everybody's like, no, that's the wrong Cooper. But had time to think about it, and I'm like, this is a pick that the Eagles was going to make. First of all, Vic Fangio's scheme is heavy on the DB end. The linebacker position probably really don't pay out that much. Don't really like get he's right now he's in the rental stage. You know, we got Devin White on a 1-year deal. We got a couple guys 1-year deal, and I think it was already in the works for them to try to get Jeremiah Trotter just for the nostalgia. Just his dad being an ex-Eagle, but I think Edgerrin Cooper helps out this linebacker core. Like if we had Edgerrin Cooper, I would not have question marks still about this linebacker group. But Cooper DeJean is going to be great, man. I don't really like him on the outside. That's just my opinion. I don't like him on the outside. I like him in the slot, and I also like him at safety. He can do a little bit of return, but on the outside, I don't think that should be his position. I know in the slot we got Tyler Hall, who might not really make the team at this point because you're going to have to, these 2 cornerbacks or the 2 DBs that we got. You got to make room for them somewhere for them to play. Then you also got Isaiah Rodgers. I don't think he's going to make the Tyler Hall going to make the roster. Avonte Maddox, he probably going to be fighting too unless they try to keep him just for some veteran presence. But overall, I think Cooper DeJean is going to fit well. I think this was I thought it was a Vic Fangio pick, but the more and more I talk, and I was just on another show, my co-host was basically saying that it was a Jeff Lurie pick because Jeff Lurie wanted this guy. He wanted Cooper DeJean. So I'm happy he's here, man. Now he's Cooper DeJean, and look, we can move forward with who we got.
All right, so we got a couple of comments here real quick. So Old Man Mob says, I'm so happy with the Pats draft. And again, Eagles got some steals in the draft. True. Old Man also says Cooper slot, safety player who can play outside. However, if he's going to be outside, he needs to work on stuff.
Definitely. I don't like him outside either.
Definitely 1,000% agree with that. Wyatt, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't surprising. I mean, it was after seeing us go out and take Mitchell in the first, but I mean, Cooper was linked to the Eagles for weeks and weeks and weeks now. I mean, it was kind of assumed that they were going to draft him at some point. But once again, it kind of fell into place. We had to trade up a little bit just to get him, but it seemed like what DB said, this was the player they kind of wanted the whole time. So why not go out and get him, especially if he's so versatile. He plays safety, slot corner, what have you. I think he's going to be a huge asset for this team that severely needs help in that secondary here, especially after this last year.
Yeah, I didn't like the pick at first. I wanted to go with the safety from, the linebacker from Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper.
I didn't have a problem with getting DeJean, but I just felt like it would have been so much better for us to get that linebacker that we can groom, because a lot of the guys that we signed at linebacker are 1-year players.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why not get one of the better talented linebackers that did slip when you have the opportunity? And maybe you don't get this particular corner, but you go out and you grab another corner a little later in the draft. But this is the way we chose to play it. So I said my piece. I wasn't as happy about it. I had a chance to think about it. And like DD said, the other thing was we about to go get this cat, and he's really not prepared to play outside cornerback in the NFL. When we just got a guy who is prepared to do that. But I think safety, makes some sense. Slot corner, so we can kind of play both of those a little bit. Kind of what we're doing. So the last time I looked at the depth chart, I was earlier today, and I did see they still have CJGJ as the starting slot corner. I don't know why they didn't have that, but that's what they have. But I think either way, whether he's starting at the slot, whether he's starting at safety, whether he's in that rotation, I think he can be a good value add to the depth and possibly a starter. The way we've had injuries at the safety position, it makes sense to have 4 to 5 guys that can play that position, that can have starter level talent, and not 1 or 2 guys and then a bunch of garbage behind them. So I'm liking when I think about the move, when I step back from it, from the fandom and a specific player I wanted to just say, all right, what's best for the team? Because there's going to be another draft. We can get linebackers next year. We can find some guy that gets thrown off somebody's team and bring him in and hopefully can cover. Because it's going to be more important for us, I think, to have cover linebackers if we're bringing anybody else in, or guys that can do both and not just guys that play on the edge. So
we're gonna have a lot of. I think for the linebacker position, I think that to cover it up, I think that we're gonna have a lot of drop safeties in the scheme that's going to cover that up.
I agree. I think we're gonna have to end up playing 3 linebackers and a safety. Have that safety be like the drop back type player. I agree. We're gonna have to kind of play with that formation and not be as, I guess the word I'm looking for is as true to form. I can't think of the exact word, but less true to form of what a 3-4 is, and more just making sure we have the right people in the right positions, no matter what it says on their actual position. Unc says Maddox, Dejon, and CJGJ can all play slot and safety. True. So that gives you more flexibility. And then Maddox's biggest thing has always been his size. I mean, he's a good player for what he is, but size. And then, of course, we know with Maddox, my man's giving us 8 to 10 games max. You know what I'm saying? If you coming out here expecting 16, 18 games out of Maddox, you wild and you haven't been watching the team.
I think Maddox gets benched. I think Maddox gets benched.
Oh,
that'd be the smart move. Yeah, that'd be the smart move.
Yeah, bring him in when you need him, and bring him in if somebody else get hurt. Because CJGJ, he been hurt a little bit too. So you got 2 cats that kind of get hurt. So you bring in a guy like Cooper DeJean. He should be the guy that can be there, you know what I'm saying, most weeks. So
our whole secondary's been hurt.
More makes sense.
Yeah. Our whole secondary's been hurt. That's probably why we was at the bottom. Like, besides, the awful play calling
and the scheme.
But in tackle in tackle, but tackling. But at the same time, I just think that because Reed Blankenship had injuries on him too. He's playing through injuries. Like I said, that's why I said safety is a big hit. Then we got back up. Who's that? Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown is coming off of ACL, so it's like it's fit perfect for the Gene. It's fit real perfect because he could go anywhere and he could just plug and play. Yeah, and they're going to try to test him. And they got.
Yeah. You can't have enough of those guys, man. So completely agree with you, man. You can't have enough of those guys. We did need to get more depth. He was a player that shouldn't have probably been there at that position, but he was. So you take him and you rock with it. So, I mean, even though I wanted somebody else, this doesn't make sense. We trying to win. Do what you got to do to win. All right. So then the 3rd round, did get the linebacker, Jalix Hunt from Houston Baptist. So heard a lot of things about him, but I actually, one of his coaches at Houston Baptist, I went to high school with. I haven't reached out to him yet to get any details inside, but he did make a post about him and say, hey, Philadelphia Eagles, y'all gonna be really happy with this guy. He works hard. He high motor, high character kid, never had any trouble, always came in and did what was asked of him. Developed through his whole time. He has a lot of potential. But this is another important piece that I heard, and I was like, okay, he's a former safety. He'll need to develop to be a productive edge rusher, former safety. So a guy that's a hybrid between a safety and a linebacker, being on the Philadelphia Eagles, going to the 3-4, oh, this pick makes a lot of sense. So when I looked at it, I'm like, okay. So I know there's other guys we all want to know. Other people was I Philadelphia Eagles Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You saw some things said about this kid, but I'll say this: that history as a safety means he can cover. So if he can cover and he can tackle, he may not need to be a stereotypical edge. If he could play that outside linebacker with those safety skills and developing with the linebacker skills, ladies and gentlemen, we might have got ourselves another diamond in the rough. Wyatt, I'm gonna slide to you this time first. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, this is the one I kind of had, I was a little weary about. I feel like this one was kind of a reach for Howie. This might have been just Howie's pick. All right, you can do what you want with this one, Howie. Because this definitely seemed like more of a project type pick. That I don't know if he's going to be necessarily starting or in the rotation, but they're going to be a guy they're going to hold on for a while, see exactly where he fits within their scheme, what he's good at, his strengths and weaknesses during practice and OTAs. I don't know, like what you're saying. I think reading more into it, it does make more sense. I'm just not sure if it really made much sense at that pick, in the third round. But hopefully it works out. Hopefully it's a guy that can stay on the team for a while and actually is able to show up and show out.
What do you think, DB?
I agree. I think that everybody was like, who? And then everybody start, Googling and trying to see what this kid is about. Yeah, he did convert. He's converted from safety to DE, but I do understand the pick about, drop coverage, because that's going to be the guy to do it. He's going to be one of the guys to do it, I should say. They're going to ask other edge rushers to drop back, of course. This is the reason why we don't have Hassan Reddick to this day. One of the reasons, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I wouldn't have picked him here. Like Wyatt said, I would have probably waited. You could have got somebody else here. You could have really got somebody else here. But we just got to see what he grows into. You got OTAs, you got training camp, and you also got just preseason to see if he's still there, just to see what he has at the end of the day. Because if not, then it was just a waste of a third pick, second pick. No, it was third pick.
Yeah, third. Trust me, guys. They didn't draft him in the third round out to play. He won't start.
Why not?
I don't think he'll start, but I think he will make his way into the rotation. Yeah. I've watched some of the film on this kid. He can play. I mean, honestly, I didn't know he was until he got drafted, and then I said that name sounds familiar to me for some reason. So then I went and looked it up, and I'm like, oh, okay. I think this kid. They didn't draft him in the third round for that. I'm just gonna say it like that.
Yeah, Fangio did like him too.
So says this is a Fangio pick. He sees him like a Simmons from Arizona, but from the edge linebacker position, kind of a Warner Von Miller hybrid. Yeah, and the fact that, like I say, as long as he tackles, the only thing I'm worried about anybody that comes to Philadelphia after last year is, are we teaching these dudes to tackle? Are we in practice working on tackling, focusing on the basics? You know what I'm saying? As long as we're doing that, we should be good.
I know who not working on tackling, and he said it. He's not doing it, and that's Slay. Slay not tackling.
I remember that, and that's another reason why 2 cornerbacks were drafted. We got dudes up here talking about I'm trying to make sure I'm good when I finish to spend time and watch my kid grow up and enjoy my kids. Okay. Retire then. If you don't want to hit, retire. Like, I love Slay. Slay one of my favorite Eagles. If you don't want to go out there and do what you paid to do, retire. We can use the money to go get somebody else.
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our second commercial break, and we'll be back here in a few moments.
Oh, yes. The tradition, the pageantry, the spectacle, the history, the slut. Wait. I gotta rep my brother's stuff right. All my DMV soldiers, stand up! And welcome to the Commander's Gridiron Report. You want your Commanders to be repped right? Well, D. Willie is your man. Commander's Gridiron Report. Every Tuesday at 11:05 a.m. Eastern, 10:05 a.m. Central. On the Sotoba Media YouTube channel.
This is great. You're watching Shady Sports Network. Tune in, hit that like button.
You might wonder, what do these guys do? Player signing announcements. I never in a million years thought you would actually come on to break this news. So without further ado, go ahead and tell everybody what happened today.
Yeah, well, I just had to work out with the Cincinnati Bengals. Signing me right out.
Without further ado, I'd like to announce that, I'll be taking my talents to Salina Liberty.
This just in, the Major League of Football is reportedly collapsing, unable to pay hotel room bills, with players being kicked out of their rooms and hotel managers asking them to leave voluntarily without issue.
Whether it's the men's college game,
The way that this season has been going, yeah, anything is possible.
the women's college game,
And how passionate Angel Reese was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
the WNBA,
AJ Williams on Twitter 1 and 2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young,
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out. On the Playmaker's blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts. Cool McCain.
You thought you wanted to go through against Chad Gable, but you didn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Chad Gable would take everything that Gunther's done and bury it.
The Playmaker.
It was on site. AJ Styles walked out there seeing LA like, oh, okay, man, LA Knight hopped out the car, let's go.
Break down everything in TNA, AEW, and all of the WWE programming. Join these two kings, monarchs of wrestling, live every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on the Play Caller Sports Talk YouTube channel.
All right, good people. We back in the building. Couple of comments here.
Yes, dude.
And then we'll hop back into our draft review. So Unc says, hey, I'm with Slay on this one. I want to remember my kids growing up and all the important things that matter. He's not trying to be a vegetable brain when he get old. Avoid CT at all costs. Hey, I feel you. But like I said, Unc, the only way to avoid it is retire. So if you don't want to get hit, if you're scared to get hit, hey, bro, hang him up. Unc also says, with that being said, Philly ain't the place for you with that attitude because we don't give AF.
Facts.
I agree with both of those statements. 1,000%. All right, gentlemen. So we'll move on with the fourth round. Pick 127. We pick Will Shipley, the running back from Clemson. DV, your thoughts on Will Shipley?
I understand the pick, I feel like we shouldn't have got him, honestly, because you had I think Braylon Allen was still available. I think it's a couple other guys that I was looking at running back wise because I knew we had to go either running back or try to get another tight end. But I understand the pick though. I understand why they did it. Now, with that being said, Gainless should not have that many carries as a Philadelphia Eagle any longer, because I understand this pick. The guy could do a lot, he could do a lot. And, he was excited to be a Philadelphia Eagle. His brother actually goes to, I think it's UPenn. He plays here in Philadelphia, so they'd be able to see each other all the time. He's always in the city, he said. So, yeah, I'm happy for the kid. Just want to see what he could do.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Like DB said, I was expecting us to get a running back at some point in this draft. I mean, just watching his tape, dude's extremely fast. He's shifty. He's able to break tackles. I'm excited to see what he can do behind the O line. I definitely think he should be, out snapping Kenny Gainwell though. This dude, I don't even know why this dude's still here. We should have kept Boston Scott or Kenny Gainwell.
Man, I'm with DV. Like, when I saw the pick, I'm like, all right, I understand like why we made the pick for a running back, but I thought there were other guys we could have gotten, or if we were going to get him, I felt like we probably could have waited a little bit for him. So I feel like him. How y'all feel about our third round pick? I feel like he's a guy we could have waited a little bit longer and still got him, but he does cross the boxes for what Howie and ownership want for a running back, right? You want a guy that can be like another Gainwell once you get rid of Gainwell, because Gainwell still does not Gainwell, and this is probably his last year. You know what I'm saying? Unless he makes some dramatic improvements. So you want to get another guy that plays a similar game. So I think Shipley is close to that in the fact that he can catch the ball out of the backfield. Shifty, he's probably a little bit faster than Gainwell. But this is a guy who's already been hurt. He's cleared now. He should be good, but he had a knee injury that he got in Clemson's bowl game. So always got to be a little wary of injuries, especially with us, because we seem to be a team that everybody healthy 1 year, the next 3 years, everybody hurt, and everybody kind of healthy the next 3 years. So you want to get, some guys with some durability. I think he could be another guy that can play well with Saquon Barkley, who is another guy that we have to be worried about with injuries. So once we get the depth charts and stuff nailed down and we start talking about that, there's a lot of guys, real talk, that we got to look at on this roster and be like, is they going to make it this year? And if they don't, who's going to take their place? And it's not all sealed up real nicely. Let me just say that. We're going to be a team that we got this really great skilled back as a number one. Whether it's Shipley, whether it's Don't Gainwell, that's the number two. They're not the same type of player. So I'm gonna leave that there, because that, if I get off on, we're gonna derail the show, and I don't want to have to do that. So I'm gonna just stop right there with the Will Shipley pick. But I do feel you. All right. So in the fifth round, with our first pick in the fifth round, pick 152, Aniyah Smith, wide receiver from Texas A&M. Why your thoughts on Aniyah Smith?
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good pick. I mean, we all expected that we were going to probably go out and get a wide receiver at some point. Just watching the tape on him, I mean, seems like he's really good at yards after catch. He can return kicks as well. Maybe we put him back at returner at some points. I mean, it seems like he's definitely going to fit the mold of that slot receiver for us. I think he's going to complement AJ and Devontae really well, especially with the scheme. We obviously haven't seen it yet, but with what Kellen Moore is trying to do, I think he's going to fit this scheme perfectly. And as long as they're scheming guys open, there's going to be so many different ways you can take with this offense with this guy in there.
They're saying that his pro comparison is Tank Dell. We'll see if he's that. But what I will say is I like this pick as well. We needed the speed. He's a gadget guy. He can play on special teams as well. So we're starting to get some of these guys that can't catch that was on the team last year because they play special teams. Some of those guys can be gone. Right? Because if you get 3-4 catches in the season, we throw on you balls, you can't locate the ball, you can't catch the ball, but you get in time because you play special teams. We need to bring in better. This is better. So those particular people, now I'm calling names of those particular people who only there because they can catch special teams punts, but they can't do nothing when you throw them the ball. They can be gone now.
Yeah.
So there. DV, what you got for us, bro?
So yeah, I watched some tape on him because I was trying to understand why they went that route. because I'm like still at linebacker. You know, trying to get a linebacker here.
You're trying to get 3 or 4, right?
No, I'm just trying to get to one. I'm just trying to get the one at this point. We already lost Ezra Cooper at this point, so now I'm in the draft. Like, hey, we need a linebacker. We need a linebacker. We took wide receiver. What? But as I looked at the kid, I'm like, yo, he got some upside to him. His only downfall is he's not the best route runner. He's good going across the middle. He's good yards after catch, like you said. But it's just the route running has to, get sharper. And it's just, just routine. And what he's capable of doing, I feel like that he could easily, possibly be wide receiver 3, probably the depth chart number 2, because I don't think Devontae Parker's going to be on the Eagles roster. I just think that was a pick for Howie because he always wanted him. Just try to see what he's going to do, and then all of a sudden, he doesn't pan out, or he's probably going to be on the practice squad.
Okay. I'm not mad at it at all. Not mad at all. All right, so next, with our second 5th round pick, this is the one. If we didn't do this, I don't know how we might not ever have been able to get to the cookout if we didn't do this. We drafted linebacker Jeremiah Tryon Jr. from Clemson. So, DD, we're going to go right back to you with this one. What's your thoughts?
My first initial thoughts is like when we were doing mock drafts and everything, I'm like, yo, I don't want to get this guy. Only because he reminds me what we thought that Nakobe Dean was going to be. That's how I feel about Jeremiah Trotter Jr. But I get it. They wanted him. They moved up for him. Lori was crying. I knew your mother, and you seen the video.
Yeah.
But not trying to downplay it, but I'm like, this is what I didn't want, because now he's going to be some type of way. He's going to be in a rotation regardless because of the nostalgia. He already got number 54. It's merch already out there calling him X-Man Jr. It's crazy right now in Philly. So I feel like, it had to be done. We needed a linebacker. Wasn't the linebacker I was looking for, but we needed a linebacker. I think Colson was I don't think he was still there. I think that he went the round before. But I'm just trying to see what this kid going to do. I'm trying to be optimistic about the kid. But look, I'm not really like too fond of the pick, but I know why it had to happen. Also for the city of Philadelphia, just say hypothetically speaking, knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but Nakobe Dean has to be out a couple plays, or somebody's sick and can't go. Then this kid is going to get his chance, and I just don't want the emotions to get the best of him, where he's missing assignments, and he's out of place and everything, and then he looks like Nicholas Morrow, just stuck on the island. Like you don't want that. So, but look, I'm happy for the kid, man. Is hopefully he could be half of what his dad was for us, and we'd be good.
I just want this kid to come out there and play, man. Like you said, I'm not worried about you got on the team because of your dad, right? They knew you since you were a kid. The first time you met our owner was when Lurie was when you were like 3-4 years old. So he's known you your whole life, right? They were struggling trying to get back up to get you. I get it. Like you said, the nostalgic factor. I would rather have him than Jalen Reagor as a guy that, like a second generation Eagles player. I think that for him, it's just a matter of going in, learning with Nakobe Dean, doing your job, not letting the other stuff bother you, which hopefully your dad has been teaching you since you were young, whether you went to the Eagles or somewhere else. You got the benefit of having someone that's done it. You got that gene, you got some of those genes in you. So it's just a matter of activating. I'm gonna go a different level here with y'all. It's about activating your positivity and making sure you're maintaining growth to get to the goals that you want to have. I'm going a whole different direction with this kid, just because I think that's the only issue. I do agree with DV saying about the fact that there's extra pressure because when you come in and just manifest your destiny, brother. Get out here, play the game. Don't worry about nothing outside of the locker room. Don't worry about it. Your dad was there when the game started. You want to think about that when you walk into the facility, when you warming up, cool. But when that game starts, whether you watching, whether you in the rotation, whether you got your jumpsuit on because you on the practice squad at first, focus on what you want and go get it, man. I'm happy for him, but we making these picks. I need guys that's gonna make the team and make a difference. So hopefully he's gonna be one of them. What you got, Wyatt?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he can come out here and make a difference. Maybe this is the reason we didn't get another linebacker at all through the draft, is because Howie was planning on getting Jeremiah Carter Jr. at some
That's a
point.
linebacker too.
Yeah, true. But I mean, like an Edgerrin Cooper or one of these other top linebackers out there. But yeah, I mean, like what both of you were saying, I feel like just picking him and bringing him to a team where his dad was, it's kind of already setting him up for unreal expectations at this point. Like, just like you were saying, cool, let the kid play and then we'll see what happens from there. But I feel like a lot of people are just going to come out the gate instantly if he just doesn't look good on like one series or something. And it's just like, I don't know, it may diminish confidence a little bit and just the confidence within the fan base. Where it's like, maybe if it wasn't connected by somebody within the organization already, like people can kind of look at it a little bit more realistically. But I'm hoping it pans out, man. It's just, you can't expect him to be his father at that point. You have to let him be his own person. And hopefully he can just come out here and, contribute to this defense at some point in the rotation throughout the season. And like you're saying, grow and learn from everybody else in the room.
All right, so Unc says he's actually the perfect linebacker for Fangio's scheme. Highest rated coverage linebacker in the nation since 2022. LBs have to be able to cover in this scheme. I wanted Cooper, but I get the logic.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
He says, I'm not as drunk as y'all think. Well, maybe you drunker than we think, but you know how to handle it.
No, you know how I think it's a reverse for Unc. I think he needs to be on to be level.
The more he drinks, the more old he is.
Yeah, because when he's not on and he's sober, he has no filter. So yeah, I think that's what it's reverse.
Fair enough. All right, so the last pick in the 5th round, we finally got an offensive lineman, Trevor Keegan from Michigan. They're not grading very high. The best thing that's being said about him is that he was a captain on the Michigan's national championship team, and he's a project for Jeff Stoutland. But then we have a good record from turning offensive linemen into contributors that we draft late in the draft. So basically, they're saying that he's a project for us, is what I've read everywhere in regards to him in the NFL. Wyatt, your thoughts?
Well, I thought I saw something. I didn't have the stat in front of me, but that he didn't allow a sack in like 200 snaps or something like that. But I mean, I have to pull that up and get the actual facts. Maybe Unc has those for us. Put in the comments. But I mean, he's going to Stoutland University. He's I assume that he's not going to be starting or anything. We got a Steen in there, got a couple other guys we brought in. So I mean, I'm assuming that he's going to be, in Stoutland University. He's going to have maybe a couple years to kind of grow with the team and then kind of go from there. If he needs to be that next man up, learn on the fly. But I don't think it's going to be a guy we have to worry about seeing here for a little while.
I feel it. DV, what you got for us, bro?
So I just had this conversation. So it's 3 guys in that right guard position. You got Tyler Steen. You have Becton, who we just got from the Jets. The guy we got from the Jets, and then we also got who's the other guy? You just said his name. I forgot, but
Toth, Brett Toth, Hennessy, and Steen are on the depth chart right now
for right guard.
Yeah, for right guard.
Because they were talking about putting Tyler Steen there and then also having Becton play that right guard. Now the difficulty of that is he's played the left side the whole time. So now you try to make him play a different position or try to work at the right guard position next to Lane Johnson. It could affect the play of the line also with this pick. They said this guy played some guard, and he actually didn't allow sacks for like over 200 snaps, I believe. And then also he would just be a plug and play guy, and he would be a better build up project for Stoutland than the guy that we got for the Jets. So I'm cool with the pick, man. We needed a lineman at the end of the day, and I'm cool that we didn't do it early, but we got it done, down the line. So I'm cool with the pick.
Yeah, I like doing it late too. I agree. Definitely agree.
See, Unc already got the facts.
All right.
You just have to wait.
So Unc said, the more intoxicated, the better my brain works. Just saying. Yep. Then he says, Keegan can be the white version of Brandon Brooks after 1 year at Stoutland University. He'll be ready after 2 years. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you get guys in there young, late, you let them learn a couple of years, then another guy comes up and is like hurt, injured, getting old, and we need to switch the line around. We got a guy that you can slide in. So I'm not upset with the pick from that point. Like you said, it was always going to be, he's not a plug and play right now. We're just getting him, grooming him, and then we're going to use him in the future. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
5th, 6th round, I'm good with that. All right. So then our first pick in the 6th round, pick 185, wide receiver Johnny Wilson from Florida State. So DV, we'll go back to you for Johnny Wilson. What's your thoughts on Johnny Wilson?
Understand why we did that. Why did we double dip at wide receiver? I just didn't understand the pick, man. Like, I didn't really know anything about the guy, honestly, but I just don't understand the pick. At the end of the day, he's going to be competing, but I don't think he's going to see the field ever. Not even on special teams.
Well, I'll tell you why we picked him.
I'll
tell you why we picked him, DV. He's 6'6", 230 run, and runs a 4.52 in the 40. That's why we picked him.
Okay.
He's raw. But that's why we picked him. We looked at this. They looked at this and said, oh, size, height, and he ran a good 40. But we were talking about our earlier pick, how we was going to have to kind of work on him, work on his route running. We got to work on everything with this guy. But as I said before, the track record that the Philadelphia Eagles have with developing wide receivers and cornerbacks that we draft is not very good. I'm not saying it can't change. I'm not saying it can't change any of that. I'm just saying when you look at what we've done, you like, bro.
Yeah, they did say that too. They said that they were possibly trying to convert him into a tight end.
Yeah, I mean, he has the build for it. Was it Nick Sirianni says he likes him on the outside in his conference? I forget what he was saying, but yeah, I think he has the build to be a good tight end if he's able to put on a bunch of muscle.
Says if Steen gets hurt, he loses his job. Then he said put 15 pounds on him, and he'll be a better version of Evan Ingram. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with going out and get a guy and saying, okay, maybe we do convert him to tight end. Because guess what? We have 2 tight ends on our roster, and everybody else to me is trash. Anybody can disagree with me, that's cool. But that's how I feel. Calcaterra and them boys, from Calcaterra down, all y'all can go. We do better getting a dude off somebody else's practice squad, in my opinion. Aunt does say if they move him to tight end, he'll be a Jimmy Graham. I wouldn't be mad with that. I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't be mad with that. But even if he's just a solid 4th wide receiver that can catch the ball, that we can put in that can run the seams, and you're already 6'6", and you're pretty fast to be that tall, you should be able to get some balls. You should be able to throw it to you in the red zone like we did Julio last year. Worst case scenario. Because Julio probably, like, bro, I only came to try to get a ring. I'm good. Hit me up week 10. Don't hit me up before then. All right. Wyatt, your thoughts?
On Johnny Wilson? Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a project, like you said. Hopefully, I think the only way he could probably make the team, make the field, is if they did convert him to tight end, if he was able to put on some muscle or what have you. Because with the wide receiver room the way it is right now, it's like DV saying, I don't know if he ever going to see the field at this point.
Stu, we couldn't use him at like Stoll because Stoll was the better blocker. That's why when Dallas Goedert went down, we rotated those guys because when we needed extra blocker, we put Stoll in. Calcaterra is more of the route runner, catching guy, and everything like that. That we thought that we was going to get out of Abra-O. But
I don't know why
here we are.
Him. Yeah, the thing with Calcaterra is, man, you never know about Calcaterra. I'm still concerned about him being actually able to, play.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always a little wary about Calcaterra.
Those concussions.
Yes, sir. But ladies and gentlemen, before we finish the picks, I just want to say, if you are watching on any of the other streams besides youtube.com/Eagles Elite Podcast, greatly appreciate you hopping over, checking us out, giving us a like, a sub, and sharing the show out for us. If you are watching on Eagles Elite, make sure you're checking out the other channels that are here as well. Shady Sports, King DV's channel, which he'll give you the information for at the end of the show. All those good places. Make sure you're checking out everywhere that you can see the podcast and help us all grow so we can get those numbers so we can continue to bring y'all guys some nice fire content. All right, and then we'll drop into our last pick of the draft. Round 6, pick 190, Dylan McMahon, offensive lineman from NC State. Wyatt, start us off with Dylan McMahon. Your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of expected that maybe we go out and get a center here at this point, especially with Kelsey retiring. You do have Cam Jurgens stepping up as the starting center here. You need to have someone behind him just in case. He had some injury problems over the past couple of years. So, we definitely needed some depth there.
Yep. DV, what you agree?
We did need depth there, but I wouldn't say like he's possibly behind Cam Jurgens. I think that if anything, I think it would be Matt Hennessy because he did play some center. But I understand the pick.
I really like it.
I do. I understand the pick though. It was a good last pick for us, even though we traded 9 times in the draft. But it was a good last pick for us at the end of the day, man. We did need to clean up and shore up some of the depth on the offensive line. So I'm not mad about it.
Right, and this is another one of those you can stash and would be okay with players. Like I said, we started at 5th and 6th round. If those dudes are just stashable, you work on them and get them where you want, I'm good because it's late round picks. Aunt says on plays where Stoll went out on routes, it should have been Calcaterra. Well, see, the problem with that, Unc, is if every time Calcaterra is in the game, you're throwing the ball, then they know what defenses to play against it. If every time that Stoll's in the game, you're running the ball, then you know how to defend that more easily. So you got to be able to mix it up. So that's why you need guys, to me, with versatility. You don't have to be the best blocker, but you got to want to get after and block. I think Calcaterra at this point is just like scared almost. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I ain't trying to get no hits that I ain't got to get. I already had to quit football one time from concussions. And I'm not mad at him for that. It's just not what I think we need on the guy that's going to be our third tight end. So maybe not trash. Maybe trash is not the right way. Maybe more. He's not good for us. I'll still say trash though, just this once. Appreciate that, with the follow. All right, so guys, we're gonna run through the undrafted free agents. A couple more commercials first, and then we're gonna run through the undrafted free agents.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids from the Block, New Edition,
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively, Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying, but this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
All right, good people. We have returned. We got a comment here. Unc says 3 tight end sets would be perfect. That's why I like the Kellen Moore pickup. We need a better third tight end. Just my thoughts. I like Azuma. I like Azuma. I like Dallas Goddard. I feel like we got some work to do on the back end. But we can try it. Just don't put Albert O in there. If you put Albert O in there, bro, I'm turning my TV off.
I don't think we've seen enough. I don't think we've seen enough out of Albert O. I remember one game he got in for one play, made one catch, and then slapped hands, and we didn't see him for the rest of the game.
I remember we played a couple of times, and I wasn't impressed with what I saw from extended play from him. But to your point, that was at the point where everybody was done already in the season anyway. So,
yeah,
we'll see. I'll give you that. We'll see. Still don't trust him until he showed me better. All right, guys. Let me get my other banner up here. I made banners for the night. We're going to talk about our undrafted free agent signings. So if you slide in, you know what's happening. All right. Let's see. So free agents. First free agent we are going to talk about. We signed reportedly Gabe Hall, defensive tackle. He's 6'6", 291 pounds from Baylor. He's a big man. Stand out in the Senior Bowl, which is good because you're playing at least against your peers. Long and athletic. He's got a nice club swim move here as well. Little lean, so you might want to try to see if we can get some more pounds on him. But I mean, as a project, I ain't mad at it. What you think?
I mean, I think it's good. A good pickup. I think that he could possibly get some reps over Marlon T. I'd like to say his last name because I can't pronounce it, but he could possibly be one of those ones that get the snap. So it's a good pickup. I heard a lot about him, but just got to see a little bit more. Hopefully, he makes the roster.
Why? Any thoughts?
Yeah, not too much. I don't really know too much about the unsigned draftees here. I mean, DT, you definitely need some more depth there. So I mean, it's a great project to have. I don't really know too much about the kid, but you can't have too much. Never have too much help at DT.
All right, then we went for another guard, Gottileb Ayedze. I may have butchered that, but he's 6'4", 308 pounds. He's from Maryland. He played left tackle for 4 years at Frostburg State. Then he transferred to Maryland. Played mostly right tackle there. 33-inch arms. Probably will definitely be a guard in the NFL. He's undersized, but we like a couple of undersized guys that can kind of get out and get in front of our running backs and do that. Another project probably. Any thoughts on that, DB?
I mean, it is a project. Do he play? He plays right guard, or he's just a guard in general. Like
he played. So he played right guard. Well, he played tackle in college, but he's projected to be a guard in the NFL because of his size and his arm length and everything.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those projects because Lane Johnson also has a say so on the offensive line, and he did not at first. He did not like the idea of playing next to Cam Jurgens. He wanted a taller right guard next to him. So I don't see him actually even getting any reps there. But it's going to be a project. Hopefully he pans out. Just gotta see.
Yeah, Steve should be getting those reps at guard this year, but you got to have backups, right? Got to have backups. And like you said, stashable player. Why I know you may not have had a lot of info. Any thoughts? Are you good?
No, man, I'm good. I mean, it's just another recruit for the Stoutland U over there to see who can possibly lend some help and depth over the next year or so.
Yes, sir. Now, y'all know we want to go through a draft and undrafted free agency and not sign somebody from Georgia. You know what I'm saying? We won't let that happen. So we got Kendall Milton, the running back. He's 6'2", 225. One cut and go, sledgehammer. Runs through contact, falls forward. He's not the fastest. Right? Not the fastest. Got a big rushing bump in 2023. Last 2 years, 2022, 7.0 yards per carry. 2023, 6.5 yards per carry. And this is in the SEC. So we're not talking about he was playing in Conference USA or the SWAC or nothing. Like he was literally in the SEC. We got guys at running back, but they're not this. We complain all the time about a bowling ball with feet. This is him. This is the type of player. Now, whether he can make the squad and make the impact is one thing, but it's the type of player that we need, and the other three guards really aren't that. So I don't see why he would at least be the fourth running back, in my opinion. But we'll see how things swing. DB, any thoughts? It keeps sounding like I'm saying B. DV, any thoughts?
I'm going to make the team. I'm going to just be honest with you. He's not going to make the team. Here's why. Because I don't think he fits. They're going to try it, but I don't think he fits the scheme. That's the only reason. Like, I'm not saying that he's not a good player. I just don't think he's going to make the team at all. I would like for him to make the team because that 1-2 punch, we still in remembrance of, Ajayi and Blunt. You know what I'm saying? And we're not going to.
Yeah, we won the Super Bowl.
Right. I don't think we ever going to see that. I think they, it's the, hey, if he can catch out the backfield and do all those things, that's our guy. Even if he's 5'10", that's our guy, right? But this guy, they're gonna try. They're gonna try it out, and I don't see him making a team. I really don't.
Yeah. I mean, you pretty much took the words out of my mouth, though, DV. Like, the type of dude that we want to use, a bowling ball with feet, to go out here and do exactly what we did that made us successful in that Super Bowl season. It's what everybody expects us to do, what we should be doing. That's the exact reason why they're not going to go out and do it, is because that doesn't fit their mold for what the running back they want to do. Which is, I mean, you can have kind of both. You could have a guy that can catch out of the backfield, but you could also have another player that's a bowling ball with feet to go out and do exactly what you need to do, fall forward, get that extra yard. That way you don't have to do maybe the brotherly shove every single time you need one more yard. You can have that bowling ball with feet go out and get you that extra yard or get you that touchdown instead of having your QB at risk.
Who we said that last year too, and we never seen the guy play 5 snaps.
Yeah.
He looked good when he played. They just would not put him out there. So says Gabe, Hall, and Milton, the running back from Georgia, can make the 53-man roster.
53-man
Milton
roster.
will make no game expendable. Gabe Hall can be a force in the defensive interior. Ayedze can be a swing guard tackle sleeper. I think they can.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I gotta agree with DV and Wyatt. They are looking for certain type of players, and he's probably not gonna be that guy. And it's a shame. It's the one thing that we haven't done well that we really need to do. It's a shame. All right, we got another tackle here, offensive tackle from Howard. My man is 6'8", 353. His name is Anim Dankwah. He is a mammoth man. That I know. Rare size and just mass. Oh, I think if what he did in college and what I was able to research rolls over to the NFL. My bad, y'all. I'm watching this game, and just in case y'all were wondering, Boston went ahead and took care of business. Miami is done. But he's just a big man. He's gonna have to play tackle because he doesn't have the quickness for guard. So that's why he is pretty much just a tackle. Another guy that may need some development, but if we can develop him, think Jordan Mailata type guy. That could be crazy. Any thoughts, DV?
He could possibly be a depth piece. We shall see. But I don't really have too much of a thoughts on him.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be more. We'll see where he at in a couple of years or anything else. Why anything to add on him?
Nah, man, I'm good.
All right, y'all. We finally got somebody that's a tight end. You know what I'm saying? Up on the scene. McCallan Castles from Tennessee. 6'4", 244 pounds. Yeah. Sound like he's a character from G.I. Joe.
See his stats.
The most I can say about him is he's a camp body.
Yep.
He may have a chance to make the roster, but it's a slight chance. And then I think y'all would agree with that, right?
Yeah.
And then our last signee is a 25.
Oh, sorry.
Well, go ahead, sir.
Oh, God.
No,
it is a camp body. It's a camp body. I feel like that you got Abra gonna make the team.
All right, and then we got Andre Sam, safety from LSU. He's undersized, but he's a hard hitter. We normally have since about 2019, we've had at least one player every year but one make the team that was a undrafted free agent. So one of these guys at least made the team. In 2022, we had three of them. One of them should not have made the team. One should have, and one is whatever. So Reed Blankenship was one in 2022. Josh Joby, or Job, or however you want to say his name, was another one. And then Josh Seals. I like Reed Blankenship, and I'm going to just leave it at that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the undrafted free agents, as well as our draft picks. Went through everybody that we got. We will start with King DV. DV, let everybody know where they can find you and any last thoughts that you have.
You can find me anywhere just by searching King DV Sports, Facebook, X or Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I'm everywhere, King DV Sports. And yeah, I always got shows going on. I always got my recordings going on, and I also got a show we're about to do right before before training camp. Before training camp. So you stay tuned for that, man. As always, fly Eagles fly. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no doubt, bro. You
Absolutely,
like fan
man.
now.
Appreciate that.
No doubt. What?
Yeah, man, you can pretty much find me anywhere. You can find me on Twitter at YBregard and Instagram. Also, my other show, Cinema Trip Reviews. You can check us out on Twitter and also Instagram and also on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts.
You can find me about anywhere, but where I want you to find me at is right here, Eagles Elite at Eagles Elite Podcast on YouTube. Also at Real Play Callers. That's where you can find on Monarchs of Wrestling Show on Mondays at 6:30, as well as Play Callers Sports Talk Live Fridays at 7:30. Of course, both of those times are Eastern. We're getting back into the football season, so understand NFC Beast will be coming back season 3. So be ready for that. We may do a post-draft special, like not this weekend, but next weekend. We'll work on that and see what things going. But hey, you can follow me on formerly Twitter X at Cool McCain, YouTube Cool McCain, IG at Cool_McCain. We had a problem with the other page. I had to throw the underscore and create a new one. It's all good though. Instagram was tripping, but I ain't even gonna. So next week we'll be back. There's always something to talk about with the Philadelphia Eagles. Every day, every week. We here, we're gonna be here. So says when we're gonna have him on, he'll behave. We're gonna bring him on one day. We're gonna bring on one day. We're gonna bring you on. Make sure you hit me up on Facebook. We're gonna bring you on. I think that would be a entertaining time.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Sure.
What I'm saying? And don't forget our season recap. We're working on something else that we're gonna not quite announce it yet, but probably let you know by next week, just to make sure everything's smoothed out for that. And of course, DV, man, anytime you want to come on, bro, you know what it is. I got to get on with you. Me and Wyatt both need to get on with you and do something too on your side. But everyone, make sure you tell 4 your friends and 4 your enemies to come check us out. Just because they don't like you does not mean they won't like us. And it's never where you start. It's always where you finish. Make sure you holler at your boy. But before we go, there's one thing I was saving for the very, very end. So new show just came out this week. I want to make sure everybody get a chance to check this out, because I think this is going to be a real solid show. If I could find the clip for it. You know how stuff be acting up on your thing. Here we go.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony, or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network proudly presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson, live every weekday morning beginning April 29th at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So with that being said, man, fly Eagles fly. Hashtag be elite. Oh, and don't think I forgot. For those who are watching, hit that link right there down at the bottom under King DV. That Bet US, y'all making them bets. Let your boys eat off that a little bit so we can keep things moving around here and add a little more bells and whistles. But we will holler at you. We'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat station. Maybe even a little bit more wilder. You never know how I'm gonna be from week to week. You know why you don't know? Because I don't even know. All right, good people. We are out.